How's that? Stand together and fight. Good one? I don't know if I'm doing it right.
The last 4 murals that we were doing one a month for the past 4 months, exploring different issues. So one of our murals had to do with exclusion and poverty, one of them had to do with mental health and poverty, one of them had to do with criminalization, and this last one we wanted to devote to sexual exploitation and sexual violence being such a really key issue. This is part of a larger campaign which we've dubbed the YEG Dignity Campaign, and I really invite you all to consider what that means to you and how can each of us contribute to promoting and cultivating dignity in our community, whether through dialogue, conversations, different events, through art projects. And the idea was, as you can see, to make it very public and open to whoever wanted to contribute and really be in places in the community where people are touched by poverty firsthand. So that's a little bit about the YEG Dignity Campaign, and I just want to thank you all who did participate and put your 2 cents and your marks out there. I really feel it's a very powerful project, and I've heard over the months how it's been impactful to community members. So thanks for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
The final component of the YEG Dignity Campaign, and this piece is about missing and murdered Indigenous women and about sexual exploitation. And those 2 issues are tied very closely together. And so what we want to speak about this piece is about silence and how being silent supports violence. So that's what it's going to say at the top, silence supports violence. And one thing that we wanted the public to be able to do is participate in this campaign. The way we did that is by having people put on a glove, and we use red paint. And so what they're doing is applying a fingerprint or a mark from their finger in the background. Now each stroke on this wall, every stroke represents 1 missing or murdered Indigenous woman. Now we don't even have enough room on this board to represent how many have been lost in Canada. The official numbers that have come back are 1,181. Now those are official numbers, so we know we can probably at least double that, and we're still within a realistic number there, which is very scary, right? And so there's a lot of other statistics kind of hidden in the background. We've also included some names of known missing and murdered Indigenous women. So Tina Fontaine, Cindy Gladu, a lady named Mona. So we had somebody come by and share their story. So she told us a story about her friend named Mona that was actually lost and became part of the Robert Pickton case, which is incredibly scary. And so that's how people have been involved, writing messages and then kind of representing missing and murdered Indigenous women through the fingerprints or the marks of the finger. Also we have a portrait, and this portrait is based on, we had the keynote speaker at this event, her name was Dawn, and she modeled for this. And so we have one hand covering her mouth, and that represents silence, this way of removing power from people by removing their voice, and that's something that's been a very huge part of this campaign. The fact that we're still not able to get an official government inquiry into this after numbers like this, 1,181 missing women, and the national government still won't put an official inquiry into place. So that's kind of represented by the silence there, and then also one thing that we're adding is a hand around the neck, and that's representing the violence. And those 2 things are intertwined by people being silent, not speaking out about this issue or ignoring it or choosing not to have things like inquiries. They support that violence and they allow that violence. By not speaking about it, you support and you get that violence. So that's part of the message that's going on at the top there. And also you can see the YEG Dignity Campaign logo stenciled in the corner there. And we wanted to use red, black, white, and gray as the colors here. Black, white, and gray because it's very stark and it creates a kind of a timeless look. And then the red, both because it represents Indigenous people, and then also because it represents violence in this context, especially in this color of red. So that's kind of some of the reason behind the color choices there. So yeah, work in progress. We're still working on it. We have a couple more hours to go, but that's where we're at right now. So yeah.
My name is Nancy Thornton and I'm joining you today on behalf of Northwest College. I'm here attending the Gall Conference. Very interested in the issues of poverty, discrimination, social justice, and justice in general. So I was really interested to attend the conference today to see what other community members are doing around these topics. At Northwest College, we have a really diverse student body and faculty and staff, so we're always looking at ways to how can we promote inclusion, how can we help eliminate racism. So I was looking for some input, hearing from what other community members have to say, listening to the really interesting presenters that we have, and hoping to take some of this back to my workplace and just using it in my everyday life. It's been really great to see what Edmonton's doing, and I'm a relatively new person here in Edmonton, so this has been a great event to network and to see all the cool things that are going on in the city around peace, justice, and the elimination of poverty.
Hi, my name is Bronte, and I'm actually here to learn. I work for an MLA office in Edmonton Ellerslie as a caseworker, and I really want to know what I can do to help the issue to decrease poverty inside Edmonton. And I also want to learn more about Indigenous issues as well, and yeah, so those are two things I'm here to learn about. Domestic violence and missing Indigenous women, how they're skewed in the media and stuff like that, to make it seem like this is just an Indigenous issue and it is not a Canadian issue. And really, I took away from this that Indigenous women's issues is a huge problem, a huge Canadian problem that everyone needs to.
Why am I here? Well, it's the International Day of Peace, a very important day in the history of humanity, and also because the John Humphrey Centre is an amazing organisation in our city that is at the forefront of making us think. I wanted to come and listen to people's stories and support Renee and the John Humphrey Centre in the dialogue that's taking place.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Quatch. My name is Ali Boston. So I'm a master's student in public health, and I thought it would be interesting to come and see what Edmonton is doing to look at the issues of peace, poverty, and justice.
And I'm also a master's student in public health, and I'm a student intern at the ACC-FCR. I'm working on a variety of projects that are looking at the social determinants of health in Edmonton, and the organization thought this would be very beneficial.
So far, I've been really interested in learning more about the missing and murdered Aboriginal women and girls. So kind of just looking at all the issues that they are facing and what is not being done and what we need to do as individuals and as a community in order to look at that issue and make it an agenda item for both politicians on the provincial level and the federal level.
I've learned that despite all of the challenges, there are still very strong feelings of hope, and that the community is very active in pursuing reconciliation.
Now, you do have a celebrity smile.
She does.
And you know what?
And the pain after.
Yeah, me too. It was an honor meeting you.
But God bless.
Yeah, I actually think that the YEG Dignity campaign's been a huge success because we've really touched people. I know that, I've heard that from people along the line. I know not just the artists, the artists themselves were touched and really impacted being a part of this project. People who came by, just members of the public, just random people coming by, have really loved what we're doing, and I think we are inspiring people, and that was the purpose. The purpose of YEG Dignity was to, and is to create conversation and not be afraid to challenge stigmas and challenge stereotypes and talk about some of those real issues related to poverty that we don't really dig into, and we wanted to do that in a creative way, but also a way that wasn't afraid to really point out what's real. So, you know, in talking about sexual exploitation and sexual violence, we of course we have to talk about missing and murdered Indigenous women as being incredibly vulnerable population in our society, and why that is, and really we really need to talk about it, and you know, that overrepresentation is terrifying, and you know, this is one way that I can stand in solidarity and speak out, and hopefully we inspire other people to stand up and try to make a change and have those conversations in their community about issues that are really important to them.